Hey everybody, my name is Andrew from Fishing on the Fly, and welcome to the very first episode of Fishing on the Fly TV. Today's episode, we are going to talk about arbor size for fly reels, but before we get into that, I do want to give you guys a little bit of an intro since this is our first episode. So basically what we're trying to do here on YouTube is create a resource for anglers, both fly fishing and conventional fishing, to answer the types of questions that there aren't really a lot of answers to. And so this is something that is tailored, very well for beginners because you have a lot of questions when you're getting started, and there's not always a clear-cut answer, particularly for fly fishing. And so that's why we're going to cover that angle a little bit, but we're also going to cover some conventional stuff as well. So we have a little bit of content for everybody, and of course the goal is to be as valuable to you guys as we possibly can be. So let's get started for this video. We're talking about arbor size. This is something that if you're a beginning fly angler, you're definitely hearing a lot about as you shop around and try to pick out your first fly reel. And so I want to start on this topic by telling you or discussing what the fly reel does, at least in freshwater situations. So obviously a reel is a reel, right? You reel in your line. But in fly fishing and in freshwater fly fishing, it essentially just holds your fly line. That's one of the key differences between conventional fishing and fly fishing, is that in fly fishing, the line itself does most of the work, and also the rod to some extent. But the reel really just kind of holds, your excess line. And so for that reason, freshwater anglers sometimes care less about the drag systems of their reels. Of course, bigger fish are going to pull a lot of line, and you will need a good drag system. But what you're left with is line storage and line pickup. And that's where arbors and arbor size comes into play. Most of the reels you're going to see on the market today are large arbor reels or larger arbor reels. I know they have, mid-arbor spools these days, which is, as you might imagine, a mid-size between standard or small and a larger size arbor. Now I'm going to separate my reel right here, and so you can see what the arbor actually is. It's a spool, right? It's a surface area around which the line is wrapped. It's pretty straightforward there. The difference between large and standard size arbors, as you might imagine, the large ones have a greater diameter and therefore more surface area going all the way around than a standard reel does. And I don't have a standard reel with me right now. This is a larger arbor reel. And so that kind of sets up what the difference is and what the advantages are of having a large arbor reel versus a standard arbor reel. Because you have more surface area, with every turn of the reel, let me put my reel back together, every turn of the reel, you're going to be picking up more line. It stands to reason, right? Because you have more surface area here, so every time you go around, you're picking up, a larger section of your fly line that is currently out. With the standard arbor reel, because this diameter is far thinner, you're going to be picking up less per turn, and as a result you're going to be doing more work. And so if you have a fish that's coming in on you when you're fighting it and you need to pick up a lot of slack, or if you have a lot of lines stripped out and you need to pick that up to fight the fish from the reel, you're really going to be working hard if you have a standard size arbor. That's the beautiful advantage of a large arbor reel, is that it takes a lot less work. You talk about, speed of like bait casting reels, right? You'll have like a 7-to-1 ratio versus a, 5 to, whatever, right? And bait casting reels, this is sort of a similar concept. You pick up more line per turn with a large arbor reel. Now you might ask, why would anybody get a standard size reel or standard size arbor if we have all of these large arbor reels? It's a good question, and that is part of the reason why there are so many more large arbors out on the market than there are standard arbors. But there is a slight trade-off, right? If you have a bigger arbor, it's more material, and so you might have a little bit more weight to the reel than you would with a standard arbor. The way materials and technology has evolved over time, that is becoming less and less of an issue with these large arbor reels. And large arbors are actually sort of becoming the standard, even though standard arbor reels are still like the smaller ones. So if you're shopping around for a reel, I would strongly suggest you get a large arbor reel. There aren't many small arbors out there on the market today, so you don't, most of the things you're going to be looking at are going to be large arbor, But I know when I was first starting to fly fish, this was something that was super confusing to me. I was like, what constitutes a standard arbor versus a large arbor? And I was able to, wrap my head around the concept of, okay, more line pickup per turn. That's pretty easy to understand. But I didn't know what classified, which as which. And so visually, I think, is the best way to tell this difference. You will see that the distance between, the edges of the arbor, that diameter, is the key difference. And yeah, I highly suggest you go large arbor. If you guys have any opposing opinions on this, please leave them in the comments. I love to hear what you guys think. Maybe spark a little bit of a debate, friendly debate, of course. But I am a large arbor guy, and I think most people are these days. So I hope that video helped. This video helps and sort of clarifies and answers any questions you guys have about what an arbor is, what the difference is between a large and a small arbor reel. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. See ya. Guys, real quick, I know I said goodbye in the last clip, but I wanted to add this quick little shameless plug for our Instagram account. We have an Instagram account called fishingonthefly_, and it's basically a blog on Instagram. Every day we're coming out with new content, short little blurbs. Most of the content's coming in the captions, where we talk about common fly fishing issues, things that are particularly tailored to the beginning fly angler. So if you have an Instagram, definitely go give us a look. We would love a shout out, not a shout out, follow. I mean, you can shout us out if you want, I guess. But take a look there. We have a lot of content coming out on that platform as well. If you like this video, like it, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends if you have anybody who you think would benefit from it. And that's all I got, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.